think we're live now. My bad for being a few minutes late. I had to restart my computer. Technology is great when it works, right? Welcome to the Q&A for this week. That's actually what I tell my team. Software is great when it works, and it does work 99% of the time. But every now and then, it just stops working. So definitely a good idea to have backups for everything, especially for things like payment processing, power, right? Like just anything that you use that's important to run your business. I think it's a good idea to have a backup of it. So just things that I've learned the hard way. That's kind of the whole point of my channel. It's like I just share things that I learned the hard way so that you guys don't have to. So I'm gonna pull up our agenda for today. This is our Q&A call for this week. Every single week we do a Q&A for now. I don't know if I'm gonna do these forever, but since a lot of you guys are new to the industry and the stuff that I talk about in my barbershop owner community isn't relevant to you yet, I do these Q&A calls because one, it makes me feel good to help you guys out. And I get content out of it, and it makes me better in a way too, because I kind of get an idea of the things I need to build or things I need to work on, things I need to make more clear for you guys. Because ultimately, I don't do this for me. I do it for y'all. So we are live now on YouTube, on Instagram, and I think on Facebook as well. So welcome to everybody who's joining the Q&A call at the moment. You guys have any questions, type them in the chat. I will answer anything that's barber related, anything at all, like barber related. I'm here to help you. My name's Alex. If you don't know who I am, I own House of Shaves Barbershop. We're a 7-figure barbershop in Jacksonville, Florida. We've been open since 2015, done millions and millions of dollars in revenue. And I do these calls because it makes me feel good. And I'm happy to help you guys. I have a free community, if you guys don't know. The link to it's in my bio, wherever you're watching this. It's called the Barber Mastermind. I don't know if I could share my screen, if you guys on Instagram can even see this, but I'm also streaming on YouTube. If you guys want to flip over there, the link to that is also in my bio. But yeah, there it is. There it is. And see in the middle here? Actually, I don't know if you guys can see this on Instagram. It's like a huge delay. But if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you should be able to see this. Yeah, there it is. All right. There's a huge delay on Instagram. But welcome. If you guys have any questions, type them in the chat. I'm just showing you guys my free group right now. It's 100% free to be in here. The link to it's in my bio. It's called the Barber Mastermind Free. And in here, you can interact with almost 3,000 other barbers. One of the coolest features that I like about this community that just came out recently is this map feature, which I think is really fucking cool. So you guys can actually join the group for free. Being in the group is free forever. And then you can actually see like where everybody else in the community is. And then even like reach out to them and make friends, meet up in real life, right? So here I'm in Jacksonville, so you can see like there's a lot of people around me and then just in this part of the country, but there's also people outside the United States. This group is growing, and I expect that there'll be pins all over the world at some point. But as of right now, it's mainly concentrated in the United States. And we even got somebody over here in it's like Hawaii. So that's awesome. Nobody in Greenland yet. But maybe, I don't know, maybe in the future. We'll see. Nobody in Antarctica yet. The first barber that joins from Antarctica, definitely let me know. That'll be awesome to have a presence in Antarctica. Nobody in Africa. Well, actually, I don't know. Yeah, nobody in Africa yet. Mainly the United States is where we're concentrated right now for this group. But yeah, this is really cool. So if you join the community, it's 100% free. Like I mentioned, there's no cost. It's not like a free trial. It's actually free. It's always free. Being in the community, you can interact with other people. You can make posts. You can answer questions from other people. And then you can go to the classroom. There's a ton of courses in here. Some of them you have to unlock, and you unlock them for free by engaging in the community, meaning like commenting and liking other people's posts. You can see in the calendar where any events we have coming up, like the call that I'm doing right now is on the calendar right here. Next week it's going to be at on Wednesday at 11:30, and I'm just playing with the different times, just see what's the best time to do these calls for you guys. You can see who's in the group, you can see where they are, and then you can see where you are if you join the group, and you can see on the leaderboard, and you can see like what it takes to kind of in terms of points to unlock these courses. Again, it's all free. It's just you get points by interacting in the group, and then anytime you level up, you unlock a new course essentially. And it shows like the last 7 days, the last 30 days, and then all time. So these are the people that have contributed the most in terms of engaging in the community. And yeah, that is a community. So if you guys aren't a part of that, it's 100% free. You just go to the link in my bio, and there's no charge to be inside the group. Now, if you wanted to do one-on-one coaching with me and really take your barbershop to the next level, that's what this group is for. This has all the courses inside that you can need to grow your barbershop. If it's not in here, you could always book a one-on-one call with me. That's what this community is for. And actually, the newest thing in this community is this course right here, the Meta Ads course. So if you want to learn how to run ads to fill your barbershop, which is how I do it, I made a course about it. My coach Corey and I, he actually helps me with my ads, and he was nice enough to actually help me make a course to show you guys how to run ads. And that's what we did inside this course for this community. So you can actually see it's a really short course too. There's 3 parts, right? There's the mindset around ads. There is explaining how Meta works, and then actually how to like launch your ad. And then I even share, I think, what's my favorite part of the course, which is actually like, these are the best ads that worked for me. So if you don't want to guess and you're going to run ads for your barbershop, or just for yourself if you're a barber, if you don't want to guess and you want to see like, these are the ad that has worked well for Alex or for his barbershop, because we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads at this point, and we've probably wasted more money than you'll ever spend on ads. So I actually put together a list of all the ads that have worked the best for us, and I shared it inside this course, which is inside this barbershop owner mastermind community. And then I even share how you can actually look up your competition's ads, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm not here on this call to sell you guys anything. I'm just letting you know that if you want to learn how to run a barbershop, or grow your barbershop, or even if you're just a solo independent person, that's what this community is for. It's the Barbershop Owner Mastermind, and a link to that is in my bio. But if you're not ready for that, there's always a free community right here called the free Barber Mastermind free. So I'm going to unshare my screen. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. Here we go. There's me. All right. Welcome. Kim Adams Hair Design. Welcome. Georgie's Blends. Welcome. If you guys have any questions, type them in the chat. I'm here for you guys for the next 20-ish minutes or so. It's going to be a shorter call today because I got some things to do after this. One thing I will say, going through my agenda here, we talked about the map feature in our free community, the Barber Mastermind. So you can actually see when you join that community where people are, which I think is super, super dope. And it doesn't show like exactly where they are, like their house. Like it adds a little bit of noise to the map, so you can't like see exactly where they are, which I think is a good thing for privacy. But I actually made an update to our how to hire a barber course using that feature, because you can actually use that now to hire people. So if you're not in the if you're a barbershop owner, there's no reason to not at least be in the free community, because you can use that as a way to interact with barbers and network, and potentially in the future when you need to hire, you can actually like hire people from the group. I mean, I've already done that. And I think it's just a really cool way for everybody to just network and learn from each other. So again, you guys have any questions, type them in the chat. But that's kind of like some of the newer features that I'm really excited about in our two communities. I have two. I have a free one and I have a paid one. But both, there's a map feature in both of them, so you can see who's inside the group and where they're at, and meet in real life, IRL, right? And then you can use that, like I mentioned, to hire barbers or just make friends. You know, if you're just a barber, yeah. So the one thing a question I had for you guys, and I see that there's some questions coming in now. I'm trying to figure out what course to work on next, because I just finished the Meta Ads course and I just finished the How to Hire Barbers course. So now I'm trying to decide what course to work on next. So if you guys have any input on that, let me know. So somebody asked a question: when picking an age range for ads, what should I set? I think it has to start with, what does your ideal client look like? And that's where you go from there. Does that make sense? Like, what does your ideal client look like on average, right? Because I can tell you that not everybody's going to be your client. Like, you can't just do from like, I think the lowest you can go is 18. Like, you can't target minors with ads. And the highest you can go, I think, is like 64 or 65. I think that's a huge range. What I do is I think it's between 25 to 55. But I got that number not by guessing, but I actually did a survey. Like, I actually asked our clients, like, how old are you? And our system now sometimes asks for their birthday. So that's making it even easier to figure out like our bread and butter in terms of our sweet spot. I also have on our website, I have Google Analytics tied on the back end. So I can actually see, even without even asking our clients now, the people that go to our website, I can actually see like the age range that they're in. So I don't think that matters as much. It's definitely something like you don't want to get too narrow either, right? Because otherwise, like, nobody's going to see your ads. You know, like, you want to get like, you want to have a nice range. Like my range is like 30 years, so 25 to 55. That's like a 30-year. But I got that range from like looking at the analytics from our website. You know, I didn't guess on that. But I think the more important thing is the location, right? Like, you want to make sure that you're not. I see ads every day from barbershops that don't even like they're in like Texas or New York or something, like, and I'm seeing their ad in like Florida. So I just know that they're wasting. And sometimes I message them like, dude, I can see your ad in Florida. Like, unless you're trying to get followers, you're wasting a ton of money on ads, right? So the location, I think, is more important than the age, but they're both important for sure. Like, mine is set up for that 25 to 55 range, and then the location, I think, it depends on where you are, but I target like somewhere between 5 to 8 miles, sometimes 10 miles around each of our locations. Because beyond that, it's just really unlikely that like people are going to drive that far to get their haircut. It might happen, but there's enough people. Like, it's very situational. And we talk about this in the course, like how to decide where to go with the targeting and everything. Like, so, but that's kind of hopefully that helps. I mean, that's kind of a brief overview of how I think about the targeting. But targeting is good, and I love this question because it shows me that like you're actually paying attention to the targeting, which is like the easiest way to waste money, is by not paying attention to that. So yeah, hopefully that helped you. If you guys have any other questions, type them in the chat. So yeah, any feedback on which course I should make next? I was thinking, this is how I've been thinking about it lately, and you guys can give me your feedback on this. But I am leaning towards making courses that are a little bit more like general. Like, a lot of people could benefit from this, because a lot of people ask me about membership programs, for example, and I don't know that like a lot of you guys are ready for memberships, right? First, most of you don't even have like the right software to do a membership program. And then of those that do, there's probably other things that are more important. Does that make sense? So that's why I was really excited to like release the meta ads course, because pretty much everybody could use more clients, you know? And then the hiring course is going to be super, I think, useful for when you figure out the ads, right? Because if you get really good at getting clients in the door, well, now you're going to have to get good at getting barbers in the door. So they're both marketing skills. You're just targeting different people. So I definitely am excited, and I think those two courses are going to make a big impact. There's also a ton more courses inside the community besides just those two. So when you join a community, you actually get access to, well, you can access everything. It depends on how you join. Like if you join on the monthly plan, then you kind of have to earn those courses by engaging in the group. But if you join on the annual, then you just get instant access to everything, and you get a bigger discount. But in terms of like which course I was thinking about making next, I think I'm actually going to lean a little bit more general with these, like maybe do a rebooking course, like how to get clients to rebook their next appointment before they leave, because that's a really easy way to get people to come back, which increases retention. And ultimately, it actually gets them to come back more frequently, because if, as you guys know, when guys are kind of left to book their own appointment on their own, like me, right? My hair is way overgrown. They end up going way past when they should have got their haircut, which means that you, as a barber, need more clients to stay busy if you're not rebooking your clients and getting them to come in more frequently. So if you don't want to worry about getting more new clients, then you got to figure out how to get your existing clients to come back more frequently. And rebooking is one of the easiest ways to do that. Although it's a challenge, it's a skill, just like cutting hair. I think it's actually a way easier skill to learn than cutting hair, because it's just words, right? And you can plant those seeds throughout the haircut. Most of the times when I see barbers struggle with rebooking, it's because they don't talk about it while they're cutting the client's hair, right? They don't talk about anything that actually puts more money in their pocket. They talk about sports, or they talk about what they're doing this weekend. It's like, you can take 1 minute to like drop a hint on like, hey, how often do you get your haircut? Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm getting really busy. We should definitely think about setting your next appointment up before you leave. And then you go back to the conversation, right? So that's just like one example of like, if I made a course on rebooking, that would be part of it, like planting those seeds throughout the haircut, because you got 30 minutes in our case. Like if you're taking longer on a haircut, then you have even more time. So if you're doing 45 or an hour long haircuts, there's no reason why you shouldn't be good at rebooking or selling products, because you have even more time with clients, right? There are barbers that work at Sport Clips that come work for me that are great at retail. And at Sport Clips, I think you have like 12 minutes or something to do a haircut, or if you don't get it done in that time, you get in trouble. So in 12 minutes or 15 minutes, like they are talking about product, they're talking about all these things that help grow the business. And there's barbers that are saying that they can't rebook people, and they're spending 45 an hour. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's just because you're not even talking about it. That's why you're struggling with it. So rebooking is one of the courses that I'm potentially going to think about making. Retail is also another one that like everybody can benefit from this. And I think that, I mean, I'm no different. My barbers are no different. But like for some reason, barbers don't like to sell products, and I get it. Like selling feels kind of icky, right? But it just makes way more money than haircuts do. Like barbers, salons that sell way more retail are way more profitable than salons that don't. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what you charge in haircut prices, right? It's because it's about profit, right? It's about profit at the end of the day, not about revenue. So products you can sell for 2-3 times more than what you paid for them, or kind of it would be difficult to do that with a haircut, right? Most barbershops and salons are lucky if they're making like 5-10% profit margin on their services, right? So the only way to get your profit up is to sell products. Well, how do you do that in a way that doesn't sound salesy? Well, first, I think you have to break this belief that like it's selling something, right? You're educating them. And in a lot of cases, they're going to buy it anyways, right? So they might as well get it from you, and you might as well give them something that's actually going to help their hair, right? Hopefully it's actually like good for their hair, the stuff you're selling. So that's I think that rebooking, retail, what are some other things that retention is another thing, but like that's one of those things that like you have to start getting clients in the door before you have to start worrying about retaining them. So I think that a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be focused on for the next few courses that I make are going to be more focused on either marketing or just like basic stuff, like things that anybody, no matter what your business model, like whether you're booth rent, commission, you have independent contractors or employees, these are the things that I think are gonna like everybody can benefit from. Where if I made a membership course, which I will in the future, that's only gonna be really beneficial to you if you have a commission or hourly based shop with employees, right? Where you can actually have a lot of control over these things. So I don't even know how you would make a membership work in a booth rent shop. Like I don't know. I don't think it makes any sense at all. But it definitely makes sense if you're an employee-based shop, right? Where you're paying your barbers an hourly wage or a commission or both, right? And memberships make a lot of sense there. But like I mentioned earlier in the call, like a lot of people don't even have the right software to even think about doing memberships. So it's like, why am I going to make a course about that? Although like in my community, in my barbershop owner community, you can book one-on-one calls with me and then we can talk about whatever the hell you want. You know, the courses take a long time to make, a long time, right? And the last one, the hiring course, took me probably like 6 months, right? I've had courses that took me a year to make. Like I have a whole course on how to cut hair faster. That took a year to make that shit because I had to think about all the things that I ever learned over 10 years of cutting hair that helped me get from an hour to 15 minutes haircut times, right? And now I have this belief that like I'm gonna make the course just good enough so I feel like it can make a positive impact, and then I'm gonna just update it over time, right? Because if I just waited until until I thought of everything that could possibly go in this course, then it would never get released. So that's what I did with the hiring course. There's a ton more things I want to add to the hiring course, but I think that the way it is now is already probably so much better than anything else that's on the market right now. I don't even know that anybody else is even talking about how to hire barbers. It's like, how can you grow a barbershop unless you have that skill, right? This is something that took me 9 years to learn too. So I don't want to make it seem like I am all high and mighty. Like it took me a really, really long time to learn this. And one thing I realized last week, really, very recently, is that I was looking at my my profit and loss month by month in QuickBooks, the accounting software we use. And I think it was so interesting because you can actually literally see, like every time I learn something, the revenue goes up, right? And the last year, one of the biggest lessons I learned, there was probably two main lessons that I learned in 2024. The first one was how to manage my time because I retired from cutting hair, but I realized I was not managing my time well. So once I started managing my time well, I was like, oh, okay, I'm actually getting a lot more done in the same amount of hours, right? By just changing a few things. And I have a whole like YouTube video about this on my YouTube channel. The link to that is in my bio. But the second thing that made the biggest impact on revenue was when I realized hiring is the key to growing a barbershop. That's why that was the last course I made besides the meta ads course. Hiring is the key to growing. Like every billionaire says this. It took me a long time to learn this, but you cannot grow a barbershop without good people. And so the challenge is they're out there, right? I don't believe this saying of like good people are hard to find. I think it's you either have the skill or you don't, right? So if you have the skill, then you can find those people. They're out there. You just have to find them, right? And that's what the whole course is about. The majority of it is the marketing aspect of hiring, right? Because there's a lot that goes into hiring. I even have like recordings of interviews in there. how to post a job ad, like a lot of things, anything that relates to hiring. It was going to end up being like 2 years that this thing was going to take me to make, but I ended up just focusing it on just how to find barbers. Now I might make a separate course on like employee engagement, like how to keep them, like how we do contests, how we promote people, how we pay people, like all that fun stuff that a lot of people like to learn about. But I think in the beginning you just got to focus on finding barbers, right? Because most of them aren't going to work out anyways. Like for every, like especially when you're new to running a barbershop, like for every 10 barbers you hire, maybe 1 or 2 are actually going to end up staying with you long term. Maybe, right? And that's just my experience. Maybe you'll have more luck than me, right? But so that's my take on like the thinking about which course I want to make next. It's going to be the thing that has the biggest impact on the greatest amount of you. But if you have a specific thing like memberships, whatever that you want to talk to me about, hey, book a call with me. I'll be happy to help you with that. But don't, if you're waiting on me to make a course about it, well, you might be waiting a while, right? So just let me know if you guys have any feedback on that. So we're at time here today. This is a short call, but if you haven't already joined, I have a free community, free forever, called the Barber Mastermind. The link to that is in my bio. You can book calls with me in my paid community, which is the Barbershop Owner Mastermind, which has all the courses that I was just talking about. I will see you guys in the community. I hope you have a good one. Thank you. Thanks for joining.